that community.
Can you see me okay?
Oh, hi, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let me put this over here. Okay, because I'm going to be working with 2 screens, so... Ooh. Let me put this over here. Oopsie daisy. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, how was your holiday?
It was good. I had lovely time off.
Good.
Just had lots of fun. Did
Yeah.
some touristy stuff in town. Madame Tussauds, Sea Life. Went to Go Ape, and the Woburn Park. It was nice. And then my friend had her 50th garden party last Monday, on Bank Holiday Monday. So yeah, it's been pretty good, pretty busy.
Oh,
Nice time out.
it's nice to have a break, isn't it?
Yeah.
And still be able to do
Ready.
yeah, still be able to do stuff that like you would normally do by all the stuff that's going on with COVID. So yeah. Okay.
How's your mum doing?
Yeah, it's all right. I spent some time with them, a little bit longer, and then took the opportunity to see my grandmother. And also my mum. She's moving, which is an additional thing, and she's just making the decision, is it best to do it now with COVID? So yeah, so she's moving. I've just been helping her with that, and just trying to make the most of everything. You just sort of just got to alternate everything. Yeah, you just have to sort of alternate everything with the way that COVID is happening. So
yeah, you can't put things on hold if you don't have to.
That's
you know what I mean? Because how long is it going to be on hold? Because no one knows when it's going to all end. So
vision, and that's my vision. And I know everybody's really, what's the word, sensitive with COVID. And I'm like, well, you have plans before, but it's like, well, we can't let it stop it, but let us work around it. Let's not stop our goals, and just like, let's just work around it and just see what happens. And when something happens, you just kind of deal with it as it goes along. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's been my approach. Yeah. Okay. So right, so I had a listen to your videos.
Yeah.
Which were really good. My God, you know what? I've got to commend you, girl. I've got to commend the consistency for 15 days.
Yeah, it was work. It was work. Yeah, it was work. It was work. A lot of people said that. They said, "Oh my God, you're still going. You keep it up." Well, if you start something, you've got to keep it going, you know.
Yeah. And people like tend to look at the end result, and they don't realize what it takes. So I know, because I know you anyway, I know the behind the scenes research you've done to coordinate the those 15 days and to make sure it flows. So I personally could see that. Yeah, I personally could see that. So it was a lot of work. And also to the fact, because you've got so much knowledge, you don't want to like give away all your secrets as well. You want to leave that call to action. So I totally got that as well, which was great. Yeah, I totally got that. So, okay. So basically what I did is I went through, had a listen, and I'm sorry, I'm talking to you, but I'm looking at my notes as I'm talking to you. So I am
okay. Yeah, that's all right.
Concentration in speaking with you. So yeah, I basically looked at each of them, and I looked at how many minutes it were for each.
Mm-hmm.
And you kept it quite consistent, actually. Yeah, so basically on average, it was about like 3 or 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Some were even like close to 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a good tone of voice, and do you think
Yeah,
the
you know,
was good?
oh gosh, as a speaker, I know this, and I'm very old school. I like people around me when I'm speaking. So there's a big difference as a speaker, who I love interaction with an audience, and then doing it in front of a camera. There's a big difference. And I could see that difference in yourself. However, when I do podcasting, it's a bit different. I can make that come alive. So that part, I can bring that out. But to sit there in front of a computer and, oh, this is day 14, and it's not easy. It's really it's not easy. It is not easy at all. Yeah, it's not easy. Okay. So, right, so basically what I did is I just went through the whole 15, and basically I just looked at it and said, it won't fit to put all 15, because some of the information can be used to be condensed. So what I looked at is basically is it does not make any sense to do the whole 15, because it monetary, it will just come out too much as a cost. So what I decided to do is what I can produce, which will be a really better way of doing this, is get the screen. One second. Right, so the best way I suggest is we do it in a 3-part podcast.
Yeah.
And in the 3-part podcast, we will cover about 9 or 10 of the parts, and I'll condense them. So I choose like the best 9 or 10. And then it will be as a 3-day challenge, but there will be a few of the like days condensed into one, but they will flow, if you see what I mean. So you'll have 3. So you'll have a 3-day challenge, and day 1, day 2, day 3 will include some of your days. So it might be, it'll be condensed, and I'll go back, and I've made a few notes on which ones and stuff, but I'll condense it. So it'll be a big 3-day podcast series challenge. Now, what I suggest that we do is, rather than have 3 days and then an additional 4th or 5th day to introduce you, I will construct the 3-day challenge. So I'll do the podcast editing, so it's 3 days. And I will do an additional intro for day 1, where you'll come in and I'll introduce who you are, especially your new brand, showing you who you are, an expert, talking about your target market, your customers, all of that, but a very, very clear call to action.
Yeah.
That call to action is the crucial money part, say, for you, and to continue the long-term sponsorship of the podcast, because that call to action will be again repeated on day 3.
Yeah.
So day 3 will be like the outer part, where you'll just come on, especially how you did it in episode day 15 when you did a nice review. We'll more or less just review that again, and I'll just reiterate again who you are, what you do, your target market from intro from part 1. Does that make sense? So you've got part 1, part 2, part 3. Intro on day part 1 is who you are, and then I'll just bring that back to the outer, where it's also like a review on everything.
Yeah.
And the last part, which is really important there, is just the call to action. Because on your last day, you did give quite a few call to actions. I'll get in touch with me if you want more information. You can find me here, you can find me there, but I'll just really refine it so it's very direct and have that bit of direct approach, and just really succinct it. So that same messaging is in part 1 and part 2. So in terms of costing, what I was going to suggest is part 1 or day 1 includes me interviewing you, and then the remaining between day 1 and day 15 will be like day 1 that I can do on the back end. So I've got half the work just interviewing you, and then post work that I can just do without you.
Yeah.
So everyone can reduce that cost. Day 2, where I use all your, from day 1 to day 15 from your LinkedIn. So I don't need to see you face to face to do that. So I can do that. So day 2 is slightly cheaper. And then day 3, part 3, which is the final part, I only need your interview for the beginning and doing the remainder. Yeah. So I'm gonna follow up and send this to you, but maybe it will help if I so basically this is the way that I will price it. So you'll have a package of 1,091. So day 1, instead of it being $599 per episode, I will cost it as part 1, day 1 will be $399 because I need to do your interview. Day 2, where I use the podcast that you already have, will be $299. And then the last part will be $399. So part 1, day 1 and day 3 will be $399, and day 2 will be $299. So then the package total will be 1,091, 1091. Because the middle part, I don't really need you. I can do that part because I've got your recordings. That's how I was going to construct it. Because if we do 15 days, it's going to be way too long and people won't engage. And I do feel from listening and hearing your delivery, there are parts that I can put together, especially because they're quite small, like 3.52 minutes, 4.3 minutes. And I don't think all of them need to be included. Because I remember you saying on day 15, do you think it was a bit long? I think it was a bit long. So I think some parts could actually come out and just show up some of the days to make it more succinct.
Yeah.
So that's my approach. And what I do think we should do is, in terms of making sure we hit your target market, is yes, there will be that LinkedIn. Yes, there will be that LinkedIn campaign, but we do like another version of it on your own group, as if to say, here's a recap. So,
oh right, okay, yeah, in a different format.
15 days. Hey guys, if you missed, and especially because I think they've changed the government date now to be the 1st of October when events. But you and I know, although they say the 1st, it doesn't mean the 1st. Hey, the event is going to take a while for things to happen. Because there's no way you can say, because the government keep changing, and there's no way you can say the 1st of October and delegates are coming to their first of event. So I think this is a great way that if we position it like start to do the recordings and everything September, just that ending, and then doing that to launch October, so that those people are already starting to what you call it, get in mind of how they're going to do new events or start planning. Because I repeat myself, but with the government, there's no way when they say the announcement's the first, that the first event throughout the UK is going to be the 1st of October. It's going to be November, December, or planning. So your refresh and recap of your so your recap of your 15-day workshop will be a podcast, will be a nice smaller way to get the information again and for them to start thinking about it. And then you put that also on your LinkedIn group, as well as I'll be putting it as a big 3-day type of, almost like an online workshop or bite size on LinkedIn to get them ready, that now we're in October, start to think about it. And to be honest with you, I really think from that 1st of October will be great, because furlough's going to end and people are going to look at new things to do anyway. Lots of stuff is going to happen furlough. And not just that, what will be great is you yourself have to keep up to date with the government announcements. So what will be so perfect is, as those podcasts are going out and the promotions on LinkedIn and all over social media, more LinkedIn, you can also comment. So if there is, should there, because we don't know what's going to happen, but because you're being the expert, and should an announcement come, I can ask you to feed back and give your comments on LinkedIn. So it's shown as you're keeping also up to date, because you have to do it for your business anyway. You'll keep up to date with what's going on and telling not only my network of 7,000 connections, but you're being that voice for that event and conference. Because I was surprised when they pushed it back. When, you know, when they did the big announcement, 30 people, and now it's been pushed back again. And who knows what will happen. But I think you, as like, almost like a news coverage of what's going on and your opinions, and maybe refer, I'll be able to help you to refer back to some of the points, like the headings you use, like the value proposition, experience, signature, depending on what's happening, we can go back to some of those titles. So I'll definitely be able to help you to keep it current and in the mind, because I think October is a critical month.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, October will be a critical month, because that's when we've got the green lights, isn't it?
The reason I like the podcasting and the way that I do it is I can be very creative and reflect on what's happening at that moment. I know how to rejig it, because one of the days, day 7, and this is where we can reinforce what we do and we're currently doing, is content strategy. And then the other one that was a bit similar to that, I think, was a social element, day 8. So content, and when you were talking about analytics, that refers to what we're doing. So if something happened October 15th, we've got our own calendar, and then this announcement. And then, guys, if you need help with this, go back to day part 1 or part 2. You know what I mean? So we're, what's the word? Edifying and practicing what we preach, and in terms of content and what they do in part of Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it does.
But if you look at the SWOT analysis, and going back to what we said before, we shouldn't let coronavirus stop us, because I believe events, conferences will still happen. We just have to keep tweaking it as applied to the threat or the weakness of what's going on with corona, that we can't control the government, but we just tweak it. But what we do is we use communications such as more social media, more LinkedIn, in our messaging to keep up to date in saying it still can happen. You still can provide consultancy, but you know what, we're keeping up to date with what's going on.
Yeah.
So what did you think of that? Do you like the idea of 3 parts?
Yes, yeah, 3 parts will work better, I think. Yeah, because I thought it'd be way too much to, but yeah, 3 parts is fine. I won't be able to sort of start yet because my cash flow is compromised now. So I might need to put things on a bit of hold. It may need to be in October we do it, or November. I won't be able to start straight away. But yeah, that seems fine. Your explanation of, each episode and how you would bring it all together sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a conversation about your budget because I'm flexible. The only thing that I have on my mind is I do have other clients I'm working on for series, and I've got my own schedule. So I'm flexible because if we could have a conversation to say, are you feeling comfortable with the revised fee I gave you? And if it's a problem making that deposit or fee now, let's talk about what we can do. So then I can have in my mind, well, okay, if you say, for example, are able to do A, B, and C, then I know in my mind, okay, this looks like it will start October, November, but I also have to be quite mindful of my schedule block. So the
Yeah.
fee that I revised at 1091, are you happy that that's a good revised fee as opposed to the 599 per episode?
Yeah, because that's like a lower fee, isn't it? Yeah, it was 599. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I see your logic for.
Okay, what would be, because for each client I work with, I do need a deposit to say I can hold it for you for X amount of time. What would be an affordable budget for you to give, say, as a deposit? Because normally I would take like a 60% deposit. What would be affordable for you as a deposit, or to say to secure me holding the slot for you? Or just a random figure, and then I can just have an idea.
I mean, to be honest, Bella, I don't really want you to sort of put time out. I think I'd prefer to say, can I come back to you when I'm, and I'll give you, there's no like massive sort of urgency. Even if I come back to you in November and you can't do it until January, that's fine with me. But I just don't really want to say, commit right now, because like my green shoots are starting to appear. I'm starting a new project. Restarting my project this month. I haven't been given a date yet, full on from next month. So yeah, I can't really commit right now. And obviously in events it's still very unpredictable, isn't it? Although I see the importance of going out there and doing it, and I would love to do it, but I just it's just not, I can't really afford it, to be honest, right now.
Okay, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm glad that you can see it'll be feasible for you for exposure and for your own business development. And I just hope you can understand, on my side, I have my scheduling for October, November, December. So
Yeah.
what I can do is I can keep this revised fee open for 7 days, 7 working days, as I say to all like new clients that I work with.
Yeah.
Then thereafter, if you're happy, like within 7 days, and you let me know, we can do an agreed deposit. And if it means that we don't start it yet until you're able to like pay the remaining, because normally it's 60% and then the remaining 40%, say after 14 days. But if it means you would like me to hold it and I can hold it at that fee within the 7 days, then that's great. But I'll be honest with you, I can only hold that reduced fee at 7 days. and then thereafter we would need to discuss the fee again, because I did reduce it quite significantly for you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll send you like a little email follow-up to let you know the reduced fee. And I totally get it. If it's something you can't do right now, then that's fine. We can pick it back up, and then we will just go through the process again and just rediscuss the fees.
Yeah.
And that number of days strategy that we had put together, and see what we can do to make it work. And if it means, you know, I'm quite open and I can be creative with the podcast. If it means that you say, well, Bella, 3 days might be too much for my budget, can we reduce it to 2 days, do it as a 2-day campaign, then that can be looked at as well.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we kind of got to a point of what we can do, which is important, you know, and then we can just take it from there. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any other questions about the different days or what I'd put together for you?
No, but you're going to send everything anyway, aren't you, as a follow-up email? No, you explained everything, I think. Yeah, so it's clear.
Fantastic. So what's the new project you're working on?
So it's for the Economist Group. I started working on it before the lockdown, and yeah, it's resumed. They paused all work. So yeah, we're starting again this month, kick-off call this month, and then yeah, straight into it next month. So.
And is it like a new client that you're working with?
Yeah, the Economist Group is a new client. Yeah, new client. Yeah. But the project is an established project. It's an established event already, but they have been the same team working on the content since the beginning. So they just want like a fresh pair of eyes, to someone new to review and give new ideas and things like that. So.
Well, I just think it's really exciting times right now, especially, you know, I've had experience in events and conferences. It's a great time right now because it is creating a lot of opportunities in different ways of doing conferences and being future-led, being a bit of a pioneer with new ideas, which I think is needed in every industry right now. So the more we are pioneering and showing our skills as an expert is going to lead the way for many of us who choose to do that, because everybody right now needs information and everybody is asking a lot of questions because they don't know the answers to it. So those that have got the answers and who are consultants right now or experts in their field are really going to lead the way right now, and I can definitely see that trend happening.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of uncertainty, isn't there, at the moment? But I think you have to command your own degree of certainty. It was only earlier I was speaking to a group of ladies that I'm doing a venture with, and we just said, let's just press on. I mean, you can't put everything on hold, but it's about flexible planning and adapting and everybody having an agreement around what we're in, basically. But you can't just not say we're not going to do anything. It's ridiculous. You've got to keep going. Yeah. So yeah, you have to just, none of us have faced this before, but we kind of know what we're dealing with and how we can manage it and all of that. We've come quite far in the past 22 whatever weeks, and we now know we need to wear masks, wash our hands, keep our distance, stay in our bubble and all of that. So as long as we work around that, then there's quite a bit you can do. Yeah, so you just have to press on, don't you?
Yeah, and I just think it's really great, exciting times. I mean, it forces those to really focus on their business and look at their business models, review their business models, where sometimes when you're so engrossed in your business, you may not really think long term and the forces in your business. So these times, you know, you have no choice. You have to do a lot of future planning and look around your business model. So there are so many great opportunities that have arisen from these uncertainties, which I think is really good. I think made a lot of businesses just wake up and
think,
hey,
that a lot of
coffee.
people take, a lot of businesses take things for granted because the status quo has kept them comfortable for a long time. So it's a wake up call for us all, I think.
It has. It's a way, and this is. I'm just excited. You know, I am on the ball here in when have events, and I'm seeking to see who's going to be the first to do the networking event. And networking itself is going to change, which I kind of knew anyway. So I've been on the ball for that. But yeah, it's that wake up call now when people are like, oh, I need to review how I was doing things now and maybe do things a bit different. So that wake up call should have been happening anyway. So I'm glad it's making businesses think like, where's my coffee? Okay, I need a cup of coffee now. So yeah. All right, brilliant. Well, lovely speaking with you. And it would be great if we get the opportunity to work together. Because I would really enjoy doing the production for your the days and so on that you've put together, and just putting it out there and positioning you as the expert and having a good call to action. So let's see what we're able to do.
Definitely.
All right then.
Okay. All right, Bella, good to chat to you.
Yes, take care.
Talk to you soon. Bye.